Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Great to be with you.
Has anything happened or anything started in the new year, Steve?
Let me start with this. Jack Ham sent me a text, and in the text he said, because we're obviously during this whole process texting back and forth about comings and goings, he finally texted me Saturday morning. He says, "I can't wait to see your depth chart." It's like, look, you have to do this, and that's why when Matt Campbell immediately brought Derek Hoosier in. All right. That was critical because you have to be incredibly organized. You have to be incredibly scouted. And you have to be quick out of the gate.
And that Penn State has been.
Right. And that, when in the portal, you have got to hit it at 12:01. You have to be on go time.
Yes.
Right? On go time. From 12:01 on January 2nd a.m., you have to be at that point. And they have done exactly that. They have gone out and they've been able to identify the players that they wanted to get here. And they have the resources now that, with all due respect to the fine people at Iowa State, whom I think are doing the best they can with what they have. So let's start with that. You have, are you doing the best you can with what you have? And Iowa State was doing that. But there are more resources here and more commitments here. That's making a big difference. And you have to start when I'm talking about the organized part. It's not just identifying who you want and why you want them. Right, and how they fit your team, how they fit your culture, how they fit you positionally. But it's also based on who you were able to retain.
And Penn State has retained a lot of players.
So, as you know, I have talked about the 50-player theory before. And it's not a theory. I think it's practical. In order to navigate a long season, I think you have to have 50 players on that roster that are capable of being starters for you at some point. They may be somebody that's a backup the entire time, but if you're playing a lot, like say you're playing 20 to 30 reps in a game, right? To me, those are starters reps. You may be the backup, but so you see what I'm saying about the 50 players.
Yeah.
I think you need 50 players right around that neighborhood to navigate a long season. And I think Penn State is, 39 players in the portal?
I think 39 players, right? I believe.
Of the 39. Right? Of the 39. And I'm not going to name names. Please, I'm not going to name names. To me, 17 of them probably had the ability to put themselves into the 50 range. Within 36 hours, this staff made up for that. And now they're pushing ahead to now get even more so. All right, I'm talking about players that are in the portal as to what they brought in. They made up for that in 36 hours.
Yeah.
All right. And some of the players are young that left, understandably, and being replaced by veterans that are coming in.
So Penn State so far has brought in 14, as of this moment, as of January 5th, 11 a.m., 14 players have come over from Iowa State. So 14 are already coming in, and all those players generally are older. There's a couple of them that are younger that are freshmen.
Right, like the backup quarterback. All right. But they've made up for that. They said, it's only my personal judgment, just on observation. And I'm so fortunate I get to go to practice so I can see a lot of this happen. And I'd say of the 39 that were on the exit part of it, and it looks like Ethan Grunkemeyer is going to Virginia Tech. 17 of them I thought had a chance to be among the 50. They made up for that in 36 hours. Right? And they're far from done. in this process. Yes, does it hurt that an Amari Campbell put his name into, but they've made up for that.
Yeah.
Right? With two linebackers that they brought in. You'd love to keep Amari Campbell. I think Amari Campbell is a heck of a player. He had 103 tackles in 13 games this year, and I thought he played really, really well. But you're trying to now put together a roster construction here, and in doing roster construction, what are the numbers you're coming up with? Well, I'm talking about financial numbers.
Yeah.
Right? Financial numbers. You have to be a capologist in doing this. And he feels he can get more someplace else. Okay. I mean, that's his decision. He's a guy that's going to be missed. He's a good player, but, you move forward. And their ability to make up for it in a short period of time with players I really like. I mean, the players, I really like. It's not as if I have not watched any Iowa State football over the last 2 years, because I have. They've played games. I mean, I'm watching them play Iowa last year. I'm watching them play Iowa this year. I watched their opening game against Kansas State this year. It turned out I watched some of their Oklahoma State game at the end of the year. Right? I'm watching their Big 12 championship game last year. I know what Rocco Beck can do. Right? In the RPO system, I love watching that kid play. Right? He was like you're watching him play, like going, hey, they've got a big timer in that. Well, now he's here.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they've been able to make up for this, because now it's not just a question of making up for it, it's also who you retained.
And that's what I want to go through. So going through the players who have been retained, this is just in order of most recent. This is the list I have as the most recent players retained. So you've got Malachi Goodman on the offensive line.
Again, that you want to talk about somebody that has tremendous potential. Malachi Goodman does. I thought, especially in watching the bowl practices, you could see he was really making steps and strides. I mean, and you're like, okay, he's got size, he's got length, his footwork looks good. And he's somebody that down the road I think has a chance in staying healthy. He has a chance to play.
And you speak of potential, a key young piece in the offense Penn State brought back at receiver. They brought both Kobe Howard and Tysier Denmark. Both came back.
Yeah, and that's look, Howard can take the top off, and Denmark is really terrific at as a route runner, and they both have great hands. So I mean, we all know that Denmark left the field at the end, as the ceremony was going on, and people are like, well, he's done. Look, don't assume things. You don't know what people talk about internally when they sit down and they talk back and forth. He got obviously a good feel for staying here. He's staying here, right? And the fact that he's staying here, forget the other stuff. Support him. I mean that's how I look at it. I mean, he elected to stay with you, the Penn State fans. So don't you know?
At the cornerback slot, you've got the trio of Zion Tracy, Jameer Joseph, and Darius Dixon. I believe are all returning.
Yes, they're all returning. They're all returning. Josh Johnson, right, is another one.
Davian Collins, I think, is back.
Davian Collins is absolutely back. No, AC's back.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've got Collins, you have Dixon. I mean, you're in a good spot there, because you need the slot corner. Zion Tracy is an excellent slot corner. Retaining him was big, because Tracy makes plays. He sees things. I mean, that's what impresses me about him, is that he sees it, believes it, and makes plays.
He made the pick against Ohio State when they were here 2 years ago.
Right, and ran it back for a touchdown, made the interception against USC. I mean, you watching the Clemson game, they threw one, they dumped a ball off to I think it was to the running back, Randall. He comes up and cuts him down in the open field right away. I mean, that was big. Vabu Toure back. I've been aching to see him play more, and then I saw him play against Clemson. He had 7 tackles in the game, including the sack that put the game away. Right? I mean, you could just see. You're going to see his brother Mo, by the way, play for Miami coming up this week, who transferred from Rutgers over. But maintaining him in Day Lane, and then they've added into it with a couple of really terrific players that can play back there. But
Marcus Neal, safety.
Yes. I mean, really impressive. But Day Lane, you could see I'm not so sure Jim Knowles' defense was the easiest thing for him to pick up. And you could see what they did with him in the bowl game, how great he played, because I think it was, some things were simplified and really it helped him out tremendously because he's a great athletic talent. So I mean, they maintain him. Tony Rojas.
Oh my gosh!
How often did you hear me say on this broadcast? Look, everybody's like, he's gone. And I said, just hold on.
You brought it up, and it got aggregated. People said he's not returning, and then I put it back out there after he came back and said, look at that. Steve was right. And I hold my hands up. You were correct, sir.
Well, because why do you keep showing up at practices every day? He kept showing up every day, and I'm talking he doesn't have a uniform on, but he's out there supporting every day. Why? Right? That tells you something about Tony. Now, it also tells you how highly the staff, Matt Campbell's staff thinks of him, right? But getting him back big, Ty Blanding being back, I think that's an important one because I've thought as the season went, I'm watching Blanding a year ago. I'm thinking, okay, we'll see, because I try to watch everybody. When you're out there enough, you try to watch everybody a little bit. And I'm like, okay, we'll see how he does. And all of a sudden you could see in the preseason, the light's gone on because everybody's on their own clock. And by midseason, I was saying to Jack Ham, I said, Blanding needs to play more. He's a good player.
I'll bring up two players, similar area. Ivan Kamaju and Max Granville, both are back.
Yeah, everyone assumed Kamaju was gone. I mean, I don't know where the assumptions come up.
It comes from certain people on the internet who have an agenda.
No, but my point is not that, right, let it play out. Don't make assumptions. Let it play out. Okay? Now, Max Granville, when they played in the Fiesta Bowl last year against Boise State, we all know that Abdul Carter got hurt. So now you had to put out, Smith Vilbert had to play out there. But Max Granville played a lot and played really, really well. Okay, you know what? They've got something there. Because remember, Max reclassified. That was actually would have been his senior season in high school last year. And then he got hurt at home. He was working out when he was at home.
He was the highest regarded of these young defensive edges.
I felt when he got hurt, I thought that was a real setback for the depth at defensive end. Because I think he would have played so much this year, and I think he would have made a difference. But getting him back, Kamaju, you could see beginning last year, okay, where'd this guy come from? And just goes.
It started clicking for him, and it was like, ooh.
It was just clicking for him. I remember walking up to him at the end of one of the spring practices. It was like the week of the spring game. And essentially I asked him, I said, tell me make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Because I'll do that. Because it's so important. And it's not like a little important. It's incredibly important that you get the name right. So I have this very complicated method where I walk up to them and I ask them,
how do I pronounce your name?
How do I pronounce your name? Give me a roadmap here. Because I said to him, now this is for the blue-white game. I said, you're going to play a lot in the blue-white game, I can tell. Right? And then you could tell as the season went, he was playing more and more and more. And and we brought him over to quarterback club in November. Somebody else did. I mean, I had to interview him. He's just an incredibly engaging guy. It's like really engaging. And, those are some of the guys on defense you're able to maintain.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll got fired moments ago.
We'll discuss the NFL.
I know. I'm just saying it just came over. So
we've got them. We of course don't even bring up the fact the offensive line. You brought back Donko, Cooper Cousins,
Dominic Ruley,
Owen Alicini, tight end Andrew Rapplier came back.
Garrett Sexton. Don't leave out Garrett Sexton. Garrett Sexton, Malachi Goodman. They've got a lot of really good young players in that offensive line. Cousins, I think, and Donko have a chance to be just outstanding. I think Cousins has a chance to be a star. Ruley, you know how much I like Ruley. Ruley is, to me, the definition of a football player. It doesn't mean Dom's not a great athlete. Dom's a really good athlete. You can't run the way he runs. And you watch him on the punt plays, the two punt fakes, the one last year at Minnesota and the one this year against Nebraska, where he's the one that has to make the call. So, I mean, you're talking about smarts. But you saw how he played. I had no worries at all. And I was talking to Nick Dawkins about this in the hotel before the game. And Dawkins was so excited that Rulli was going to get a chance to play the entire time. And I said, Doc, I said, with all due respect, I said, I have no issue about thinking how he's going to play at all. He goes, no. I said, I'm with you.
Yeah.
He says, Steve, I think he's terrific. And he came in for one play against Michigan State. And that was the play that was because Doc got hurt. So Dawkins has to go out. Rulli comes in, and it's the direct snap play to Katron Allen. Well, he puts the snap right in the money, makes the block.
So he had a big block on
that play. Right? And that's who he is. And then you watch how he played in the Clemson game. He played really well against Clemson. Alicini, that was an easy one for me because I talked to his parents the morning of the Pinstripe Bowl, and I was out for a walk. I was walking around the city.
Cheshire, Connecticut's finest.
Right? And, well, it turned out I ran into them, and they were all, they were like, oh, he's coming back. He loves this play. Okay, so that one I knew about. But
and he's from a great place. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Getting Garrett Sexton, I think, has tremendous potential.
Chim Diono is back.
Chim Diono. Well, I thought, again, the light goes on at different times. It's taken him a while to get here. I thought the bowl practices, he did. I was really impressed by the job he did there. Rappleyea being back at tight end. At the end of the year, in the last month of the season, he was clearly, with all due respect to everybody else, Khalil Dinkins and Luke Reynolds were both fine players. I thought Rappleyea was the best all-around player of that group. And it showed. The way they used him as a blocker in the backfield, the way catching the ball. He plays with an attitude. He plays with a joy for the game. I mean, like, he loves playing football. And so able to maintain as many players as possible to then mix in. Remember, when people are talking about the Iowa State players coming in, let's get to something that is very important that is not talked about often enough. And it's a critical word: trust. When you get into a game, lineups are made by the players. They make the lineup. Oh, no, the coach has the – no, the player makes the lineup. You want to know how they make the lineup? They make the lineup by forcing the coach to play them, by forcing the coach to start them, and doing things on the field that coaches trust. They trust you as a player. You're not going to be perfect, but, boy, they trust you as a player. You know that Matt Campbell, Tyler Mauser, and Jake Waters trust Rocco Becht. They trust him. Right? Is he going to be perfect? No. But you know what? That guy fought through injuries all year. All year he fought through injuries. I think what he was saying, I saw an interview where he said that, because he's in a sling right now, okay, because he had the labrum surgery. I think the sling, what's today, the 5th? Sling is supposed to come off Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what he can do in spring practice, it probably will be full go some point in April. Well, spring practice begins in March.
Per interview with Pete Thamel, Becht is wearing a sling until January 11th. A timeline of return somewhere around mid-April. Played a majority of the season with a partial labrum tear in his shoulder, and also dealt with an AC sprain in his throwing shoulder as well.
Look, it's but again, a big part of this, as I've said over and over again, has been, and I've talked about this for years, who do you trust? Okay? The players that are transferring from Iowa State here are players, A, that this staff wants. Why? Because they trust how they play and they trust how they fit, how they want to play. They trust them. And that, you can't put a price on that. You're talking about known entities coming in here where they don't have to sit there and get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
They already know them. They know what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
More, and just as important, they know what they're not quite capable of doing, which means you work around it.
And also, the players know the system because they're coming into this same Penn State group, as you said, with the coordinator on the offensive side with Becht and with Ben Brahmer and Chase Sowell and all these guys. They understand the system, and what does that do? It means they're able to help install with the players that, let's say, have returned from Penn State or are coming in, who are freshmen or are other players in the portal. They can help them learn the system. We discussed this with men's basketball. Ace Baldwin comes in with Nick Kern, the two of them with Coach Rhodes. They're able to help install how Rhodes wants to play with the rest of the players, and it worked pretty well those first 2 years when they were here because they knew what they were doing with it.
All right, so that is, but that's a big part of this. They bring a player in that they already know. They know what they can do. They know what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
They know what their ceiling is. They also know what the deficiencies are. Because, again, part of coaching is taking advantage of my strengths, but also masking my deficiencies. Well, they know this with these players. They've had them on an everyday basis. Right? Now, with the Penn State players, they're trying to get it they'll do it through practices, they'll do it through film study and so forth and get to know them. But now you are merging the two, and they're far from done here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just going to be Iowa State transfers coming in.
That's going to be the first wave
more.
because they know them best.
Right? They know them. They know how they fit. But they took care of needs right away. You need, Quentin Martin, you didn't mention him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Quentin Martin's coming back.
Yep.
Well, Quentin Martin put together an outstanding bowl game. And as I pointed out, Martin last year really flashed. And I was anxious. But I also knew that with Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen here, the traction to get in the game is going to be limited. I thought this spring he did really well. I'm like, keep looking at him as one of the running backs of the future. The first 2 weeks of training camp this year, I was like, no offense, he didn't play well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He just didn't. I was like, geez. And I thought, well, maybe my expectations were too high, so, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he got hurt in a scrimmage in Beaver Stadium. Not something that's going to keep you out for the year, but something that should keep you out probably, I don't know, a month.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back in 2 weeks. I remember saying to a couple of people, at practice, I got to give the kid credit. He's back out here. And after that, he looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you start like, you know what? It's like, wow. I mean, like he busted his backside to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And that showed me something. And then how he practiced after that showed me so much. When he got to the bowl game, I always, like you talk about people make assumptions. Was it Corey Smith kept going outside, and I had a few people who were like, "Oh, what a bad play calls in the scheme and the whole thing." I said, "Wasn't supposed to go there." I said, he was trying to get out there. I said, it wasn't supposed to go there. I said, when Quentin Martin came in, to his credit, that's where it's supposed to go. They wanted to attack straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's like just sometimes the player makes certain judgments. Just slow down. I mean, and Martin, and see, part about Martin I really like. He is a terrific pass receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's a long strider, right? Long strider, and I really like him a lot.
Mm-hmm. And so this is just the beginning, as we mentioned, for the Penn State football team. The transfers coming in so far, the players who we've talked about a bit. At tight end, you have Ben Brahmer. This is just based on the On3 rankings.
Sure.
Ben Brahmer at tight end, Rocco Becht at quarterback, Chase Sowell at receiver, Marcus Neal at safety, Gabe Burkle at tight end, and then go down the list. A lot of, as we mentioned, the players from Iowa State, which, again, makes sense because he knows them best, and so they're going to recruit them first and then go from there. And there's still a lot of needs to fill. There's a lot of Penn State players that are also in the portal that might be leaving. And it looks like Elliott Washington just committed to Clemson.
Good.
So he is officially committed elsewhere.
Hey, Elliot Washington's a player I like.
Mm-hmm.
He is he personally like him, and I think but I thought the interesting move was I really thought that he would be locked in to be the starting corner for Penn State, and Davian Collins beat him out. And you could just see that he was playing better. Right, but this will be a nice fresh start for him. Clemson will be a good spot for him. I watched going into the Clemson game, I brought up two deficiencies for Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
One was the lack of big playability in the offense in the passing game. That was one, and the other one I brought is that they have breakdowns in the secondary, and they both showed up in the game.
Yeah,
I said they have a tendency to have breakdowns in the secondary, because we do strange things on this show. We actually talk about the games.
How dare we?
As intriguing as these segments have been about player movement, because they're incredibly intriguing. We're all intrigued by it. But when it comes to the game, to me, the game's the whole ball game, and that's why I brought it up. So Elliott going there. They're trying to address a need because they have a need there. They didn't have Terrell, by the way. He did not play in the game. He's going to the draft. He's a corner. Terrell's a very good corner for Clemson. He'll be in the draft. He's not a first-day guy. I think that he's probably an early third-day guy. Right? But they still needed to address that because he's leaving, and Elliott does address that.
And I also want to argue about other team in terms of players who are transferring in. They're still in the playoff. They're still playing today. Indiana is getting out there and getting players in the portal. They've brought in Nick Marsh from Michigan State, the receiver. They brought in Josh Hoover from TCU, the quarterback.
Marsh is a really good player. Penn State fought hard in the recruiting battle to get him. And he stuck with Michigan State when they changed coaches. But after a while, when you're sitting there and you're on your third coach, you're like, oh, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? It's like, you're like, really? And I don't blame him for going. And that's a great pickup for them because they have guys that are leaving. Surratt's going to be done. Cooper's going to be done. E.J. Williams is done. So Indiana needs to replenish its wide receivers. Hoover, interesting. I don't hold him in the same regard as other people do. When I watch him play, it's a big deal, a big deal, a big deal. No offense, Penn State got the better guy out of the Big 12. I mean, that's just me. Penn State got the better guy out of the Big 12. Right? And it's just my opinion. It's like, I think he's really good, but I don't I don't think he's great. Right? Now, is he better than the Texas Tech quarterback? Sure.
Brendan Sorsby, or the Morton, not Sorsby, because Sorsby is now going to Texas Tech.
But what did I say about Texas Tech going into the game? What part of their team did I say I didn't like? I said I didn't like the quarterback.
Other players.
Now, I don't know what that means about Hammond, because Hammond got hurt this year. When he played, I was really impressed.
Yeah. And they've now, as you mentioned, brought in Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati as their quarterback. Speaking of quarterbacks moving around, Oklahoma State, of course, brought in Morris as their coach, and he brought with him from North Texas Drew Mestemaker and Caleb Hawkins, the freshman running back.
A lot of us are looking at that move by the North Texas quarterback. I'm anxious to see how he performs on this level because I think he's got something.
Yeah.
Now, how much he has around him, because Oklahoma State was, that Morris is stepping into a tough spot there because Oklahoma State, when everything changed, Texas and Oklahoma move over to the SEC. They brought in Arizona State, BYU, Colorado. I thought Oklahoma State would do pretty well in all this. And for whatever reason, they went straight down, and I was surprised by that. I'd have to ask Matt about that privately. I would never do it publicly about that because I'm just surprised at how they went down. So, he may be transferring in, but what does he have around him? And that's the part you just don't know. Like Trinidad Chambliss goes into Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And let's give him credit. He's got a lot around him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot around him. And and obviously he has made people around him better. So
yeah. And so that is the latest from the transfer portal. And now we'll move our way over to the NFL side of things, to the playoffs. But before we get to the playoff part, the coaching carousel has begun. You mentioned Pete Carroll, after one season, is now...
I believe they refer to this as Black Monday.
Yes, Black Monday. So we'll start with the Raiders, the team that wears black. They have fired Pete Carroll after one season. He signed a 3-year deal. He is now out. The Browns fired head coach Kevin Stefanski after 6 seasons. The Falcons fired Raheem Morris after 2 years. The Falcons also let go of Terry Fontenot as GM.
You know what? I was surprised about the Raheem Morris thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really was, because I felt like he got the most out of that.
Yeah.
His quarterback situation is a little it's Michael Penix, then he gets hurt, and again, Penix. See, what made Penix great at Washington is he's a terrific talent, but he stayed healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 significant injuries in college. 2 of them I was broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
They were both against Penn State. One when he was a true freshman, then the one in Beaver Stadium here when Penn State shut Indiana out. And he was able to stay healthy. But that was going to be my question with him moving forward. Could he continue to stay healthy? And he is not. And then Kirk Cousins steps in. They got to, obviously Pitts is a terrific player.
Mm-hmm. Drake London's great.
Okay. Bijan Robinson is just a cut above. He's one of the 5 best running backs in the NFL. So the Raheem Morris thing surprised me a little bit. I realize that that's a division where if you're not doing well, there are questions, because
it was literally down to can the Saints win or do the Falcons win to see if the Bucs or Panthers got in the playoffs.
I mean, Tampa Bay wins the game on Saturday.
It needed the Saints to win.
Right. And still didn't make the playoffs.
And it came down to a Tyler Shuck red zone interception with 3 minutes to go to seal the fate of the NFC South, which is bad.
Is Carolina under 500?
They are 8-9.
Right. So they're
both them and the Bucs were 8-9.
They're playing at home.
Game. Yep.
See, this is where the NFL makes a big mistake. A big mistake. Okay, seed them 1 through 7 based on record. Carolina should be the 7th seed. Right. In other words, you get your spot in the playoffs because you won your division. After that, your seeding is what your overall record is. Because now they're playing 17 games. You're now playing a third of your schedule, approximately 6 out of 17, against your division. Right? That means you're playing 2/3 of it outside of your division, which to me determines what your ranking is.
Yeah.
And they should be the 7th seed going on the road. Now, Philadelphia, I know the Bears played Caleb Williams. They played everybody.
Yeah.
And lost to Detroit. I give Detroit credit. It took Chicago a while to get out of their own way. But somebody explained to me what the thought process. Like, if I can't improve my position, I am resting guys. In other words, it's a no-win situation for me. So let's take Green Bay. Green Bay, if they won, they were going to be the 7th seed. If they lost, they were going to be the 7th seed. Okay. So Matt LaFleur decided he's going to rest guys because his position doesn't change.
Yeah.
But Philadelphia rested guys. And by resting guys, they cost themselves a chance to be the 2 seed. And the guy that's the sideline reporter for the Eagles, we were talking I interviewed him in the preseason. We had it on segment on the show, and I brought up Tanner McKee. And I said, Tanner McKee, I said, look, that's a really good backup quarterback. He goes, oh, I don't know. I said, he said, what do you define a backup quarterback? I said, a guy that is good enough for a team to hang in for a couple of games, but long term is not the solution. All right. Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, yesterday, he plays a decent. If he plays a decent game, they probably have a shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He played lousy yesterday, right? Like I'm talking like not good. And they're the 3 seed. So what does that mean? The 3 seed versus the 2? Well, you don't play 7, you play 6. Okay, it's deeper than that. Okay, you got to think your way through this. They play San Francisco first. Dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's in Philadelphia. If you were the 2 seed, you would have played Green Bay. And even though Green Bay does some really nice things, Philadelphia, matchup-wise, matches up really well with Green Bay, and there's no Micah Parsons. It also, if Chicago wins as the 2 seed over Green Bay, that means as the Philadelphia Eagles, you will get only 1 home playoff game instead of having 2.
I don't want to go anywhere near Chicago in a playoff game.
Right. You get 1 home playoff game instead of 2 if the Bears win and you beat San Francisco. I don't understand the strategy of what the Eagles did yesterday at all. I understand the part about keeping people healthy and all because we're in a bubble wrap world. You got a bubble wrap, guys. Oh, please, just go play, right? But what they did yesterday was baffling to me because they were playing actually for something. Because seeding does make a difference. They were already locked in as a division winner, so they know they can be a 2, and they know with losing they're going to be a 3. Well, what gives you the better path? I'd rather be playing anybody at the Link, anybody with that crowd, one of the nicest, kindest crowds in the world. Oh, right. But passionate.
Yeah.
Right? They love their team. They hate their team. They hate their team. They love their team. But they're passionate. I'd rather be playing, now I realize Chicago you'd be playing in potentially bad conditions. I understand that. But at least they're your conditions that you're playing in. I'm like, I don't get what they tried to do yesterday. I mean, I get the part about resting guys. Okay, I got it. And it's Washington. They're playing their 3rd-string quarterback. We can get away with it. You got away with nothing. You ended up instead of Green Bay, you got San Francisco. Not good. Okay? Brock Purdy. Okay? Christian McCaffrey. Okay? I realize the 49ers defense has been shaky because, no Bosa, no Warner. Okay? But I don't get what they did. Right? They could have been the 2, and the Bears ended up losing. The Bears ended up losing the game. Okay? So the door was... Now, the Bears, I don't understand what the thought process was behind that other than... We're going to bubble wrap our players and, whatever, and we can get by with this. No, okay? That didn't make sense.
No.
At least to me it didn't.
No.
Because I'm looking at matchups. I match up better with Green Bay than I do with San Francisco. I get 1 potential home game out of this instead of 2. Really? Now, it may work out perfectly where they beat San Francisco, the Packers beat the Bears, and now suddenly the Eagles are back home again. Okay. Now, the Rams get ripped off because they have to go to Carolina. Right? Carolina beat them there, played great against them, but Carolina should not be at home.
No.
They should not be at home. Now, you go to the other side. Okay? I think a really intriguing game is Buffalo and Jacksonville. Let me give you a stat. Of the quarterbacks drafted the year that Trevor Lawrence was drafted 1st overall by the Jaguars, in that draft, he is the only quarterback still with his current team. Well, that's not it. All the other quarterbacks in that draft have now been with a minimum of 3 teams. How about that?
Not bad. Is that 2021? Yeah, 2021. So Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. We've got other quarterbacks drafted. If I can scroll down a little bit and find a list. Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, Davis Mills, Ian Book, and Sam Ehlinger.
They've all played with 3 teams or more, except for him. And they're stuck with him because a lot of people are like, But
he's playing well.
You know who played well for them? Okay, two guys, Brenton Strange and Parker Washington, both played really well for them.
He's been a touchdown machine for them.
But again, Parker has great hands, great route runner, and he and Jordan Norwood are the two guys that played here that had the ability. They have those two guys. I mean, I know Parker's built. Like Jordan is very slight. Parker's built like a right, but their ability to cut and the flexibility of how they cut on a dime was so important to them getting open, to go with the fact that each one of them does possess great hands. And Brenton Strange kind of set the tight end room here during the James Franklin era, his ability to block, his ability to catch. And when you talk to other tight ends here, they picked up from him a lot of the traits that you see. There's so many tight ends, and Pat Fryermuth. I do have to laugh about the Fryermuth thing for a moment. In June, and Jack and I talked to Pat when he came over in the preseason at one point in August. But in June, I did an event. It was an NIL event that took place in Pittsburgh, and it turned out that's when I went and covered the U.S. Open. So I was able to go from Oakmont and just go over, to the event. And Pat was there, and they were auctioning off a print of Pat, and so I had to conduct the auction. So I was talking to Pat, and it was great because he'd just become engaged and the whole thing. Terrific, right? And I leaned over to him and I said, "Hey, how many people have asked you about your new quarterback?" He says, "Geez, just about everybody here." All right. And so we go to do the auction of the print. And Pat's up there, and I said, I was kind of hoping, I said, Aaron Rodgers would be here tonight. I said, that way he'd have something to put up in his living room, I said, to see who he's throwing to. Well, last night he makes, how many catches did Pat make last night, including that big one down to the 5-yard line?
I believe.
That game was, that fourth quarter was as entertaining a fourth quarter of an NFL game as I have seen maybe since Kansas City Buffalo in the AFC Championship game a few years ago. Yeah. Now, I don't know who the Steelers secondary coach is, but Joey Porter's side seemed to be good. I'll give, you know what? Joey Porter, you and I both know. And how many times have I told you, kind of a handsy, I mean, he handsy here, handsy there. All right. And you look at the last month and a half, Joey Porter's been their best defensive back. Right. And he is, like, penalties, he didn't have a penalty last night. He's been their best defensive back. Now, against Houston, they have to be really good. I mean, here's the issue. On Monday night, they play Houston. Houston's defense, DeMeco Ryans, who was a brilliant defensive mind to begin with. And Will Anderson, they're going to have to figure out a way to keep him away from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's not going to take a lot of points for Houston to win the game.
No.
And
they average giving up 17 points a game to the opponent, which for those wondering at home is the second best in the NFL on a given season. So, like, you're not facing an easy defense here. You mentioned Will Anderson. You have Daniil Hunter on the other side. You have Azeez Al-Shaair. You've got, of course, at cornerback, Derek Stingley Jr., one of the best corners in the NFL. Right.
I mean, really good. But that fourth quarter last night, first of all, the defensive back for Baltimore fell down on the Austin play. So that's not a blown coverage. He fell down. Okay. I mean, that happens. You're like, oh, jeez. The 2 touchdown passes to Zay Flowers. There's nobody there. Nobody. Now, the likely catch is just a great catch. Sometimes the other guy makes a great play. Likely makes a great catch. Now, what don't you have on your bingo card, which is now the new expression everybody uses all the time? You don't have Chris Boswell missing an extra point.
Nope.
And I can't tell you in a million years what happened out of it because it went down the middle and just squirreled off to it. Like, what the heck? It looked like a gale came through and pushed it right. Like, What? Well, now the Loop kid comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Stout's holding. Jordan, by the way, is a free agent, but made the Pro Bowl in his contract year. Well done, Jordan. Yes. And you could tell the second he hit it, he missed it. You're like, it was like one of those. When we're watching in the NFL, Steve Little breaking the record yesterday with Cam Little, a 67-yard field that Steve Little kicked years ago. Cam Little, okay, who played against Penn State when he was at Arkansas in the bowl game. 67-yard field goal to break the record, breaking Justin Tucker's record.
And he also had the 68-yarder he hit November 2nd. Like he's just
he had a 70-yarder in preseason.
Yeah.
All right. When you see guys routinely hitting those, and you're talking about Boswell last night in cold conditions, hit a 54-yarder with how many yards to spare? I mean, yards. I mean, it belted the net. Right. You don't expect a guy, what was the field goal, 37, 38 yards?
35, I think.
35, whatever. You know, like that's a chip shot for these guys. That's the extra point. It's the extra point. It wasn't even close. Like, it was shocking. It's shocking. Like, the second he hit it, you're like, oh, my God, he missed it. Like, it wasn't even to the uprights. I'm like, he missed it. Like, and the Steelers were in the playoffs. They're 10-17. T.J. Watt played decently last night. I mean, I give him credit. He got himself out there and he played. Cam Hayward played not just a good game, played a great game. I thought Highsmith played a great game last night. I thought Joey Porter Jr. played really well last night. I thought that Herbig usually plays well a lot. Patrick Queen was kind of around. It's just he's better than how he played last night. He's a good player. They get DK Metcalf back on Monday night, and that does make a difference.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Ben Skoranek, he's a Pro Bowl special teams player. As an offensive player, while he was good at Northwestern, and I liked him at Northwestern, in the NFL as a receiver, he's pretty much just another guy. Like when I say just another guy, remember, if you're good enough to make the league, you're really good. Okay, so now I'm talking about like in tiers, superstar, terrific, really good, and like the just another guy ends up being on special teams, and he's a star on special teams. Metcalf and Skoranek are not on the same level as receivers, and as game breakers and his guys that can make big plays for you. But they will get him back, and they will need him. But that game was just phenomenal to watch. For 3 quarters, it's a rock fight. You're like, okay, and also in the fourth quarter, this wild game breaks out.
Floodgates just opened up.
The crowd was great, engaged. But after Henry had the great opening drive, they really did a good job of keeping him in check the rest of the way. And not only that, the time of possession was so dramatic. Pittsburgh did a great job of driving the ball. Now, at the end of the first half, they didn't get the points. But the key to me was when that's a big disappointment. You're right in the doorstep. You don't get any points. And it was not a great play call. At least the side that they ran it to was not the great play call because he went out and he pitched it to Gainwell. And Gainwell's elusive, but what wasn't over there? That was the side of the field the Steelers didn't have as many players. I think they were trying to catch Baltimore. Like, we're going to overload over here and make you go over there. And Baltimore didn't buy it. And he ran into it because there's no support over there. But then to come back and have the opening drive of the second half and bang, bang, bang and get that thing in, and it was Hayward, was able to knock it in because they went for it on that same play earlier. I think it was the first quarter, and it was 4th down and about actually slightly more than 2. That play makes no sense there. That play call makes no sense. Now on the goal line, it was 4th and 1. Now it makes sense. That extra 4 feet, is a difference in you not getting there. Because if it had been 4th down and the exact same 4th down, that they had when they missed earlier, he wouldn't have scored the touchdown if it was the exact same distance. Right? But because they were exponentially closer, in other words, by half, he was able to get in there with his brother pushing him. I always love how Rodgers just stands back there like, I'm not involved in this play.
No. I want to go back to the coaching side of things for a moment.
Sure.
So I am really intrigued by what now happens and who becomes the coach in Vegas. Because they, of course, along with letting go of Pete Carroll, have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. As of right now, one would assume that means either Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, based on quarterback need, based on a lot of things. Right. So whoever comes in there is going to get a quarterback, and they're going to get probably their pick of which one of the two they want.
Right.
So what is the expectation? What happens with Geno Smith? He, of course, did not have a great season. You can assume he's probably on the way out if a new quarterback comes in, a new coach comes in, and then the Jets probably need a quarterback because they weren't good. They're at 2. But after that, you've got all of a sudden just all of this talent sitting there in the draft afterwards for the Cardinals, the Titans, the Giants, Browns, Commanders, Saints, Bengals, Chiefs at 10. Like, I am really intrigued by what happens in this draft cycle with teams, because let's say for some reason the Raiders do actually want Geno Smith back. They have, let's say the Browns at 6 want to trade up. The Browns can trade up from 6 and find their way up to get a quarterback if they don't trust Shador and Dylan Gabriel or
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun
Watson is still on their roster.
Still there.
He's still there.
It is a real funky season. And then, of course, the Giants and Titans don't need a quarterback, so they're both fine. So they're going to draft probably the best players there.
Look,
the Cardinals could need a quarterback.
First of all, the Giants beat the Cowboys yesterday, 34-17. Okay. Hey,
great job.
Hey, I mean, did Dak play? I think he did, right?
I think we'll find out in a second.
Doesn't matter.
But also add in the Cardinals. Is Kyler Murray their guy? Like,
I don't know.
Do they trade him to like the Raiders and trade up and get number 1? Like, there's just so much weirdness with the draft.
Quarterback.
Joe Milton, I believe, played the majority of the game for the Cowboys. Dak played a little bit. Joe Milton played a little bit. Both went 7 for 11 to 13.
Joe Milton is
a quarterback. He exists.
I mean,
he's got a cannon.
Arm strength?
Oh my God.
I mean, Penn State went to Michigan and beat them, and he was the starting quarterback. Like, okay, big power. And I'm like, Jack and I looked at each other and went, we don't get it.
Yeah.
He went to Tennessee, and I still didn't get it.
No.
And he went to the NFL, and I still don't get it.
You can throw the ball a million miles.
All right. It's just, I don't think he has a great feel for the game or the position. That's just me. That's only my opinion. I mean, look, you can make a lot of money as a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. So I give him all the credit in the world for being on a roster anytime he can do it and get himself to the pension plan. I got it. Who's he been with? The Patriots? He's been all over the place.
Cowboys, yeah.
All those guys. I mean, and let's salute the New York Football Jets.
How many games they play, Steve?
17 games.
And how many interceptions do they have?
Their team this year gave up 36 touchdown passes and had no interceptions.
Which is impressive, because you'd think at some point there would be a deflection, there would be a bad pass, there would be something.
Look at last night. I mean, Cam Hayward, with some help from Highsmith, deflects the ball, and T.J. Watt's like, yo, to him. Right, Johnny on the spot. You play 17 games, and you don't even get that. And here's the bothersome part. What's Aaron Glenn's specialty?
Defensive backs.
Yeah. Now, they did deal Sauce Gardner to Indianapolis, and they didn't make the playoffs. Now
their season got derailed by injury.
Their quarterback situation, I give Philip Rivers credit. He did play.
He played well.
I think he played pretty well. I mean, I give him a lot of credit. He played really well. I have no idea what they did yesterday with Riley Leonard at quarterback because I had to go to Wilkes-Barre yesterday, so I missed the early games. But the league is look, there are 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And I've maintained for years that there are only 15 to 17 that actually are the definition of an NFL starting quarterback. Like there are a lot of like cut above backups that are playing, right? And it shows, and that's why when you see with these teams like Geno Smith is a cut above backup. Now, anybody who loves Geno Smith hates me saying that, and they're entitled to tell me how wrong I am, and that's fine. I'm just telling my opinion is that he's a very good quarterback, but he's a cut above backup. He's not a guy that can take you to the promised land. Justin Fields is a cut above backup. Right? These are, Justin Fields is a first-round pick. Right? Teams take flyers on quarterbacks. I think the Giants hit on theirs with Jackson Dart. But, for example, Dak Prescott's a fourth-round pick. Right? Okay. Right? He's not the only one. I mean, because I'll never forget Bill O'Brien and talking with him. And he said, Steve, the jump from high school to college is an incredible leap. He said from college to the NFL is a chasm. Well, especially at the quarterback spot, it's a chasm as to who can handle it, who can't handle it. Remember, Dart played this year the vast majority of the time without Malik Neighbors. He played the vast majority of the time without Cam Scatterbo.
Still played well.
So he had some. Did he have some down games? Yeah. Where people doubted him. Okay, but then did he play much better near the end? Yeah. I think they found their guy. Philadelphia, of course, has their guy. We know Washington does, but Daniels has been hurt. Right? And you start looking around the league, like the Patriots. I thought Drake May would be a good NFL quarterback. I really did.
And he's been real good.
When they drafted him, I thought, it's very quietly, this guy really can play. But like you don't know. Brock Purdy is we all know the story. He's the last player taken in the draft. But he plays for Matt for 4 years. You're telling me he didn't see every conceivable. See, the issue is when you're evaluating quarterbacks, how much experience do they have? The NFL went through a period of time, and we saw Trey Lance play yesterday. I'm not here to pick on Trey Lance, right? But Trey Lance played yesterday for the Chargers. By the way, his third team. And he had such limited time at North Dakota State. Now, part of it was the pandemic. They got the one showcase game. But like Brock Purdy, when you have a guy that's a 4-year starter like that, where you see all the highs. Oh, and by the way, you also see the warts and the lows because there's so much
tape,
so much video of a guy. Right? Like, and you can talk yourself out of taking a guy like that. Jonathan Gannon got fired by the Cardinals, by the way.
So the Cardinals now need a new head coach.
Right. He said he was safe 2 weeks ago.
And that, of course, means, as I mentioned beforehand, what happens with Kyler Murray. His future's in a weird spot.
Right. So. But you can see flashes of guys that don't play a lot. Like they've got a season as a starter or whatever. And then you've got other guys where they've got so much, you see all the glory and you see all the warts. And to me, I want to see all the warts. You want to know why? I want to know how they overcome it. See, Purdy showed over and over again when he was at Iowa State that he had the ability to overcome it. So I was not surprised at San Francisco when he stepped in and could play because there really isn't a lot he hasn't seen. And he's a far better athlete than people give him credit for. Now they're going to need him more than ever. In Philadelphia, right? But remember, when they played the NFC Championship game, Purdy got hurt in the game. They were down to, I think Josh Johnson was playing at quarterback, and then they started doing direct snaps to McCaffrey. It's like it became almost comical.
And of course, we're here on Sports Talk with Steve Jones, sponsored by Happy Valley Live and the Student Bookstore. Tomorrow, we'll get into more portal discussion, more NFL discussion. Of course, I'm assuming more things are going to happen in the coaching and GM world of the NFL, as we've seen 2 pieces of news have broken as we've been live, and that doesn't include any of the craziness coming the rest of this Monday.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer,